Viditatmananda ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Talking about relationships, I just brought a quotation from Mahatma Gandhi. He had a tough time with his wife, by the way. Mahatma Gandhi's relation with his wife, Kasturba, was a very rocky relationship in the beginning. And then it matured into a very, very beautiful relationship. He was a very assertive person and demanded that his wife should follow exactly what he says. And whatever principles he would follow, to clean toilets and things like that, that's what he believed, that's what we should do. No untouchable. We should do that work. And he wanted his wife to do that. But she came from a family where, she had the value of not touching what is impure. She said, I cannot clean toilets of the guests, she says, It's all right as far as, so I can't clean everybody's toilet. You should do that. Everybody must have watched that movie Gandhi, How he says, get out of the house, And so this was the kind of thing. And then she was a very strong woman also, and so she did not cave in. And so lots of conflict. So he says, differences of opinion should never mean hostility. Differences of opinion should never mean hostility. If they did, my wife and I should be sworn enemies of each other. I do not know two persons in the world who have no differences of opinion. And as I am follower of the Gita, I have always attempted to regard those who differ from me with the same affection as I have for my nearest and dearest. It's very important, difference of opinion. As two individuals are relating to each other, having their own upbringing and their own likes and dislikes, their own views, and so difference of opinions are going to be there. But respecting each other, meaning respecting the differences also. Respecting each other. Whatever the relationship is. Means I respect the opinions, the limitations, the shortcomings, the likes and dislikes of the other person. That is, human nature is much the same, no matter under what clime it flourishes. And that he meant, whether it's India or West or whatever, and that if you approach people with trust and affection, you will have tenfold trust and thousandfold affection returned to you. He writes from his experience. So if you approach people with trust and affection, you will have tenfold trust and thousandfold affection returned to you. So trust and affection is a very important thing in the relationship. This story I have told in the past of what Tulsidas says in the Ramcharitmanas at one point, talking about the friendship. Says, the friendship between milk and water is an ideal friendship. If you add water into milk, milk raises the water to its own value, because then both are sold at the same price. So milk raises the water to its own value, makes water value, other water has no value. But when it is added to milk, water becomes as valuable as milk. So milk raises the water to its own value, which water understands. You start boiling this. So when you start boiling, water says, hey, my friend, milk is being boiled, so let me first sacrifice myself. So water starts boiling. We keep boiling and boiling, and milk says, hey, wait a minute, my friend, water will be gone completely. That cannot be allowed. So then milk overflows and quenches the very fire which is boiling them. So this is how friendship between milk and water. However, if you add in that mixture what we call curd or something sour, for curdling, what happens? It separates. Milk and water separates. The both of them become useless, no value at all. So what is that curd, sour thing? It is called mistrust. Moment this relationship, if mistrust comes, it ruins everything. So thus, emphasizing the value of trust, how important it is in every relationship, the trust that we talked about yesterday. But we said that in order to earn the trust of somebody, we have to become trustworthy and we have to demonstrate that we are worth the trust. In that sense, I talked about the parents and children also, as to how parents have to do what they can to retain the trust of the children. In that case, children will be encouraged to share. Then they know that they are not going to be exploited, they are not going to be exposed, etc. Now coming to our final important thing about the relationship is that we have a relationship with ourselves also. In fact, I first relate to myself before I relate to anybody else. So primary relationship I have is with my own self. And we discussed on the first day what kind of a relationship it generally is. Generally, my relationship with myself is that I am not happy of myself, with myself. I am usually critical of myself. We said that we have a mind which is an emotional faculty, an intellect which is a judging faculty. So with my intellect, we also said that one part of the mind watches the other part of the mind. The I thought, the subject thought watches all other thoughts, watches the mind, watches all the emotions. Therefore, I, the subject, is aware of what various emotions are going on in my mind. And based on that, I judge who I am. So constantly there is a judgment in my intellect about who I am. I constantly have an opinion about who I am. However, what is usually the opinion I have is that I am no good, because there is some kind of an ideal that I have in my mind. Whatever that ideal is, we told you that there are moments when we experience that pleased self. There are moments of happiness. When we do experience that pleased self, we do experience that freedom, the freedom from all limitations. There are moments. So when we are in ecstatic experience of happiness, that's a moment when the duality between the subject and object also is resolved, and I as a subject, meaning as an individual, also is resolved. So I constantly suffer from the limitations that the sense of individuality imposes on me. Always feel that I am an individual. I am an individual means I am different from the rest. As I said yesterday, mutual exclusion. I exclude the world excludes me, and therefore I always feel a sense of being excluded, being different, being isolated, alone, limited, and therefore insignificant. This is my opinion about myself. And what I want to be is a significant person. And therefore usually my judgment about myself is that I am not satisfactory in my own perception. In most cases, I am not able to live up to my own expectation of myself. I have expectation of myself that, as I said, I should be a compassionate person. I expect it. I should be a loving person, a good person, a truthful person, an honest person. Why do I have those expectations? Because that is the true nature of the core person that I am. As we said in the morning, since compassion or love is the nature of the core person that I am, therefore I have natural love or compassion or kindness. And I want to see myself to be that. So whenever I find that I am not a loving person, that I am not an honest person, whenever I see, Meaning, I have already imposed those values upon myself, and whenever I find that I am not able to live up to my own expectation of myself, I judge myself as inadequate, not worthy. Thus, whenever I violate a value, I judge myself as not worthy in my own perception. So I am very strict with myself, I am very demanding of myself. Constantly judging. And usually, as I said, my judgment is that I am an inadequate person. And usually, therefore, I suffer from a sense of dissatisfaction with my own self. Therefore, I am an unhappy person. That's what makes me a needy person. That's the reason why I look at the world to make me happy, because I find myself an unhappy person. That is why we approach every relationship, every occasion with an expectation that that situation should make me happy. That we discussed. The idea is that our likes and dislikes, our expectations, our demands that we constantly have, they all spring from my perception of myself, that I am inadequate or not up to the mark, not worthy in my own perception. We have to pay attention to this. We may not have given a thought to this, but we have to pay attention to the train of thought that is constantly going on. This undercurrent behind all the thoughts. This is where I come from. So when I relate to you as I perceive myself. So if I perceive myself as inadequate or a needy person, then I approach you with my needs. I expect you to make me feel adequate. So this is the constant battle going on within myself, like the battle of Kurukshetra, fighting with my own self. Constant battle. And this is what wears me out. This is what actually makes me sad. When this thought of self non-acceptance builds up, with just a thought that comes and goes, it's okay. But when the thought builds up, it results into sadness. And if you don't do something about it, it becomes depression. So all sadness and depression is a result of a build-up of the thought of self non-acceptance, self-rejection, self-condemnation. Unfortunately, the world is not very helpful. They seem to confirm what I think about myself. I think that I am not adequate, and the world confirms. Sometimes they seem to derive some joy in making me feel that way because they can control me. The control game is going on all the time. One spouse trying to control the other one also sometimes. Competing with the other, controlling the other. How? Because of ignorance, what all we are doing. You sometimes find one spouse is jealous of the other one because I think he or she gets more attention than I do. One is competing with the other, trying to prove oneself smarter, more intelligent than the other. One being jealous of the other, competing with the other, not unusual at all. Because the very purpose of this relationship is not understood, that here we are two, where 1 plus 1 can be much more than 2, 1 plus 1 can be 11, and 1 plus can be minus 11 also. Depends on how you add up. But then we go into any relationship as individuals and we don't realize what is expected and what is good for us. And therefore this control game I find often between husband and wife also. Each one trying to control the other by showing that I am smarter. You are not up to the mark, you are no good. So poor man is driving and she drives from behind. Just come on, stop it, slow down. Nah. Hey, watch out, the speed limit. Children also say, come on, Dad, show courtesy. Some Indians are not very, in that sense. But when somebody is coming out from their driveway, stop, let them go. He's trying to cross the road, stop it. Here we push ourselves. That's how they do in India. You see somebody coming, then you push so that he doesn't have a chance to cross. Before he crosses, you want to cross. Somebody wants to come out from the driveway, you go behind and block him. This is how things are in India, for whatever reason. Swami, if you don't do this, you can never reach your destiny. That's what they tell me. This is what you to do. But when they do that here, they say, wait, Swami, Dad, show courtesy. This poor man is told number of times how inadequate he is. You don't have courtesy. You cannot drive according to speed. You are not this, you are not that. In 2, 3 times, 5 times, he will be so miserable. From then on, he can be controlled. This, I told you this earlier also, like I've seen this. With whatever limited experience I have of the life, a few things that you observe. This couple got married, and the husband was very enthusiastic and, very eager to please his wife. So he offers his services, what can I do? She says, okay, go and get vegetables from the market. She gives a list. He, in all enthusiasm, the poor man goes to the shop which is most expensive, hoping that he'll get the best vegetables there, because there doesn't know one thing from the other. He has only eaten food, cooked vegetables. They don't know how they look when they are. Because he is son of his mother, and that's how he has been brought up. Mothers don't want their sons to do anything, they to be protective in every way. So he is, so far he has not learned to do anything. And so today, first time he goes and buys brinjals and okras and most expensive and brings home. His wife looks at them, what okras have you brought? They're not fresh. These are all ripe. What eggplant did you bring? Do you realize that eggplant, when it is fresh, looks bright? This is not like... Poor man has a heart attack, 2, 3 times, that's all you need to do. Next day he goes and you find out. This 2, 3 times you find fault, that is it. He's under your control for the rest of the life, Make him feel nervous. Make him feel nervous, that's all. Or husband can do this to the wife also. Because sometimes that's what they think in India. Your wife must be under your control. And so be strict with her, do this, punish her, whatever, and make sure that some kind of values they have. But this kind of games are going on. What I'm saying is that is how the relationships are. But all of this comes from within. All this I do because I have a problem with myself. And therefore we have to attend to that relationship also. That is what we call self-acceptance. My acceptance of others, or that I can love others, will depend upon how much I am able to accept myself or how much I am able to love myself. So accepting myself. We studied this in meditation, but in the class, accepting myself. That I am all right as I am. You see, unfortunately, the world has some arbitrary standards of who is acceptable, who is beautiful, who is handsome, who is successful, who is smart. There are some arbitrary standards. This poor man keeps on judging himself based on who is handsome and who is successful and who is strong and who is this, and he finds this no good. Because who is handsome? The brightest film star is a model. Who is smart? Some sports star. No, you are nowhere. Or who is successful? Some multi-billionaire. You are nowhere. So these standards are given. Even if I play tennis, it's not for then I compare myself with Wimbledon champions. So where am I? Nowhere. So this is how, because of the arbitrary standards that the world has, whatever, I keep comparing myself as I am with what I should be. And as I said, judge myself as inadequate, failure, no good, not worthy. So I say this, that do not judge yourself based on the standard of the universe world. Judge yourself based on the standard set by Creator Ishvara, by God. Ishvara is a creator. He has created all of us. And He is omniscient. He has infinite, not only infinite knowledge, infinite wisdom. Which means that whatever He does is right. That's called Ishvara. This is not a matter of trust, this is a matter of understanding, because it's all knowledge. In fact, the universe is nothing but manifestation of knowledge. Wherever you see is nothing but intelligence manifesting in all these names and forms and whatever there is. So Ishvara means embodiment of intelligence, knowledge, wisdom. His knowledge, His wisdom, His intelligence alone is manifested to the whole universe, including myself also. Some credit we can give ourselves. We should learn to give credit that we deserve. What's the first credit? That I am creation of Ishvara. He has created me in His infinite wisdom, and He has chosen to create me as I am. My height is this, weight is this, skin color is this, hair is like that, whatever it is whatever it is. My mind is like that, intellect is like this, memory is like this, I am so smart, whatever it is, this is what I am. I do not have to judge myself based on some arbitrary standard set by the world, but I judge myself based on the standard which Ishvara has, and that He has created. Everything is unique, so I am also unique. Why should I be like somebody else? Why do I make a demand upon myself that I should be somebody else? Everybody is trying to become somebody else. I'm jealous of somebody, trying to become like that. Why should I do that? I don't have to become somebody else. Although the world demands that I should be somebody else, I don't have to be. What I need to be is a kind, compassionate, good, loving person. That's a goal which is worthy and which is something I can achieve. No other goal I can achieve because other goals are not under my control. Even if I want, I cannot be the Wimbledon tennis champion because, I cannot be a multi-millionaire. I may not be able to. As far as worldly goals are concerned, we can never be sure because they do not depend only on our effort. They also take into account so many variables which we don't control. So whether it is wealth, name, fame, recognition, is all nice to have, but then I should not judge myself based on them because it all depends upon destiny also. A lot of destiny is involved. All worldly achievements are a result of the effort as well as destiny. With my best efforts also, I may not be able to achieve what somebody else achieved with even less effort because that person is luckier than I am. Possible. As our Swami says, you should be at the right time, the right place, and whatever in order to be successful. And so I had all the ability, but not the right place was there, right time was not. The right time was the right place was not there. Time and place was there, and I didn't have some qualification. Should I kill myself? Should I hurt myself? Punish myself for that? I keep punishing myself. I'm like that. See, Swami, wherever I go, this happens. I brand myself so much that, Swamiji, I am like that. Whenever I do this is what happens. That means there is something wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with me. I have come with some capacity, some talents, some uniqueness, at the same time, some destiny. Meaning that in our life, there are things that we can control, there are many things that we do not control. In every situation, there are many variables that are known and unknown. I know about some variables, I do not know about many. I can control some variables, I cannot control others. Meaning that there cannot be certainty as to what the outcome will be. Only thing that is under my control is effort. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have the freedom or control over karma or your own personal effort. Ma phaleshu kadachana. You never have any control over the outcome of your effort. This is a simple reality of life. So, understanding realities and gracefully accepting them. That what I can control is effort. I cannot control the outcome. My commitment should be at the most to do the best effort that I can. What more can I do? I cannot do better than the best. I never succeed, Swami. I always fail. Once or twice or three times it happens, then we develop a complex that I am a failure. Other people also say that. So Swami says, somebody says he is a failure, Swamiji. Once Swami is having a bhiksha on the dining table. Somebody sold from a distance, not in front of that person. He's a failure. Swami said, let me see this creature called failure, how does he look like? What does he do? A failure means one who fails in everything. So that man also took a morsel of food and put it in his mouth. Hey, that is successful. He chewed, masticated. Oh, that he can do. That's successful. He was swallowing food all right. That's successful. He opened his mouth to talk. He could talk. That is successful. He closed his mouth. That is successful. What is failure? He can do million things all right. That is not success. One thing he could not do. That is called failure. And so, these are the complexes we have, and the world seems to only help us to confound that complex. That's unfortunate thing. World has its own problem. They have their own problem. That's why they do this to us. They hurt us. But this is where we have to protect ourselves and not allow others to hurt. What I mean is that they can behave the way they want, but it's up to me whether to allow that behavior to hurt me or not. Should I internalize what they say? Should I judge myself based on what they say? Remind yourself, I have to judge myself based on what God says, not what somebody else says. Ishvara has made me like this. He knows what he's doing. There must be a reason why I am what I am, and therefore I am a unique person. I have to make a unique contribution. Otherwise nothing can survive. Imagine all the the things, all the inert things that suppose they had mind, they would be miserable. Because sun shines, is the brightest object in the sky, the poor moon will have such inferiority complexes, not that I am no good. How about the stars? Terrible. A little lamp, miserable. Keeps looking at the sun all the time, I am no good, I am no good. Thank God they don't have that. Otherwise we could not light a lamp, really. Lamp is, no, I'm sorry. I'm too sad right now. I can't cooperate with you. I'm not in a mood. So how everything in nature seems to be comfortable with what it is. How everything other than human being is comfortable with what they are. Only human being has freedom not to be comfortable with himself. Which is also for a reason. That discomfort is supposed to become an engine of my growth and not an engine of condemning myself. If you want to judge myself, you can judge yourself based on the core person that you are. You can always take the stock and ask yourself how compassionate I am. If you want to compete with somebody, compete in those things because those are the things under my control. To be a compassionate person requires my effort, is under my control, and therefore you can have a commitment for that. You can judge yourself based on that if you want to. You can compete with somebody as far as that is concerned because that is something I can control. I cannot compete, he gets A grade. I cannot compete because I may not be able to get. I can do the best effort, but I can't be sure that I will have 4-point average. And if then alone I can accept myself, then it's very difficult. But how kind that person is. Can I be more kind than that person? That is a healthy competition. How generous, look how we can part with things. How we can give away things. Keep looking at Swamiji, this can give anything away anytime. Hey, don't do that, Swami, but he's already gone. So if you want to compete in that, not how smart he is, that is impossible. So competition is in order. Judging myself is in order with reference to what I can control. They say that all the material achievements are a result of destiny. Only spiritual achievements are a result of your self-effort. Prarabdha and Purushartha. That's what the Puranas and others will tell you. That getting adharma, artha, kama. Artha means prosperity, kama means comfort. All of this comes by destiny. If it's in your luck, it will come. If it's not there, it will not come. I cannot judge myself based on what is not in my control. I cannot take responsibility. But whether you have brought about a self-growth, now that's your effort. And it will, in order to review this thing, take a stock of those things, without judging, but take a stock. If every year I have to make a resolve, not that I'll have 1 million, I'll have 2 million next year, rather than that, what the Devi Sampat, as Lord Krishna says, the divine wealth. How much divine, that is another account that you have to build up. One account is the material wealth, which is also required, of course. We cannot say that you don't need money, you need everything for living the life and fulfilling your responsibilities. But at the same time, it's not that you start doing this after retirement. Swami will do it when, it's too early right now. Bhagavad Gita can wait, after I retire. They think Bhagavad Gita means anybody can do that. I don't think so. Vedanta, not anybody can do, fall asleep right away. Because it requires certain kind of a mind. You require to be alert. You must have the energy, intellectual energy, which you have only when you are young. So we cannot postpone self-growth for retirement. Self-growth is the purpose of human life. There is no other purpose. Other purposes are super thrust upon us. There is no other purpose. Other things are means for self-growth. So education is good, a means of self-growth. Wealth is good, means of self-growth. Your name and fame are good, means of self-growth. If you use them all to be a contributor, then all of them are wonderful means. So what do I do in order to improve relation with myself? I can relate with people healthily, provided I am healthy within myself. Otherwise, I bring a lot of baggage in every relationship, in every interaction. And you don't know you're walking on they say walking on eggshells. You just don't know, walking on mines. When it will explode, you just don't know. So some people you know, and so you keep away or you're very careful, but sometimes you never know. Because we are so emotionally disturbed within ourselves. So we are so sensitive. Sensitive means so touchy. It doesn't take much, for me to be hurt. And little thing also can hurt me. So this is where a change or transformation is required, and this is what we can carry out, and this is what we should carry out. And the first step is self-accepting, accepting myself as I am, including my limitations, including my shortcomings, including my likes and dislikes. But Swami, you said you should not have that. We will never say you should not have anything. People say, Swami, you said in the morning that you should not. I don't think I said a lot of things that they think I said. When they ask question, this is the question is asked. You said, Swami, that you are not supposed to have likes and dislikes. So please listen to that series again and tell me if I say that I will correct myself. How can we say you should not have likes and dislikes? If you have freedom not to have them, then you will not have them. You have them. What we can do is, we have to learn to manage them, and there is a way of slowly growing out of them. As Swami says, people give advice, don't get angry. No, that's something, they cannot work, because nobody gets angry. Anger gets them, nobody gets angry. It is a writing and a sign on your, front door, thieves are not allowed. Okay. If they seek your permission, then they will not come. So don't let thieves in. I don't want to, but they come. Don't get angry, I don't want to, but anger comes. So at least a Vedantic teacher, I think, should be, we can expect that much from the teacher, that they know where the free will is there and where it is not there. So do's and don'ts, vidya and nisheda, are only where kartrutva is there, not where kartrutva is not there. Where the doership, where free will is possible, that is where they say do this and don't do that. Where there is a possibility of abusing my free will, they say don't do that. And where the use of free will help me, they say do that. But where I don't have free will, even if they say, it doesn't make any sense. Don't drink fire. Don't you tell me, I'm not going to drink. So all of these, this nisheda also, not doing, they even say don't do. There also must have an occasion. A prasanga must be there. Aprasakta nisheda means there is no occasion. This kind of dialogue you hear between mother and children. Don't do that. But Mama, I never do. Don't talk, but I don't talk. So why are you negating something which I don't do? So negation is called for when there is an occasion for it. So therefore, scriptures will not negate something where there is no occasion. Don't drink fire, they will not say that. So where we have free will, we have all the free will to bring about self-growth. And as I say in the morning, the only way we can become compassionate is by deliberately invoking the compassionate person within myself. And thus, I should use every interaction becomes an opportunity. Every relation becomes an opportunity for me to grow. It's an opportunity to help me invoke that compassionate or loving person from myself. Swami, love doesn't come. Looking at this person doesn't come. How can I be compassionate to this person? Fake it till you make it. You have to fake. You act as though you are compassionate. At least. In the olden days, Swami used to say this. You don't get along with this person, your boss is very angry and his behavior is very hurtful to you, you are angry at him. What do you do about that? Says, take a vrata for 41 days. Where did you get 41 days? I don't know. 41 days. That mandala, I think, is 40 days. 41 days? 48 days? Or when they go to Sabrimala, they observe the vrata, brahmacharya for 40 days or something. So that seems to be the magic number. I think that's the time to help you transform. That may be enough time. So these Sabrimala people, before January 14, when they reach there, 40 days before that, they observe the vrata of brahmacharya and then wear black dhoti and then perform puja. And I think the hope is that for the rest of the year the fellow will be like that, But then from the 41st day I do not know. But anyway, the 40 days seems to be a number. So Swami says, okay, take a rose, a fresh rose every day. Go to your boss and offer the rose. What? To my boss? Go and he also won't believe Swami. It doesn't matter. He also be surprised. So take the rose and offer like that because you can't look at this person. But do it anyway. 1 day, 2 days. In 6, 7 days, at least you'll be able to look at the person. In 15 days, hopefully, You're faking. So I guess 40 days may be a time when that becomes a reality. That you offer the flower with real feeling. To change requires a lot of practice. It's called abhyasena kaunteya vairagyena sagruhyate. Abhyasa means doing the thing again and again. Vairagya means having a value for what I want to do. A value for becoming free from anger towards that person. That means vairagya towards anger. And abhyasa, practicing as though I don't have anger. That's called abhyasa. Abhyasena kaunteya. This is an excellent thing. Yoga Shastra and Bhagavad Gita. Abhyasena kaunteya vairagyena sagruhyate. Hey Arjuna, you can achieve anything. You can, bring about a given state of mind that you want. A desirable state of mind can be achieved by abhyasa and vairagya. You want a compassionate state of mind, a forgiving state of mind, keep doing it again and again and again. But how long, Swamiji? Until it works. How long should I dig the well? Until you get water. Depends on where you are digging. Sometimes water comes in 20 feet, sometimes 50 feet, 100 feet, 1000 meters. Provide a value for water, then alone I will do that, otherwise I forget it. No, I don't want this. But if water is valuable, you'll dig as long as required. Fake it till you make it. Then I'm a compassionate. What if I was a compassionate person? What should I do? What should I do if I was the honest person, a kind person? Whatever I want to be. But that's what I should want to be. I should recognize that that is the real success in life. That somebody hurts me and I can still, respond to that person with compassion. That's a great success. Somebody is trying to dominate me or whatever, behaves with me in an unbecoming manner, and still I can respond to that person with all my goodness. That's a great victory. That is a success. So that's a very, very beautiful passage by Rabindranath Tagore. What is victory? That you have toiled hard and created and it is brought to nothing by other people, and still you can maintain the composure of your mind. That's called victory. Meaning that you are treated altogether in opposite way, and you still are rooted in your own values. That is victory. That's a tough victory, but that's a victory we have to get. Until then, there is no end to this process. We are striving from time beginningless, from one embodiment to another, for this victory. So understand that that's a real agenda in our life. Everything else is a means to fulfill that agenda. So thus, if you have value, this value should become valuable. That I should become a loving, kind, good person. Forget about Brahman. This is what compassion we can understand. That is Brahman. That is what we call by Lakshana Vritti. All these words will lead to Brahman. You understand that? Vedantins talk about Vachyartha and Lakshyartha. Vachyartha is what you can understand. Lakshyartha is what it leads to. So these words, compassion we understand. Kindness we understand. Love we understand. They are all words which lead you to Brahman. And thus, if this is valuable to me, and should be, that's called Viveka. Vedanta talks of Viveka. Viveka means discernment in life. What is it that I am seeking? What do I want in my life? I want freedom, I want happiness. What does it mean? It means this. When am I free? When I am a compassionate person. When am I happy? Only when I am a compassionate person. An angry person can never be free. That anger itself is a sign of bondage. He can never be happy. He can never like himself. I never like myself when I'm angry. I can never like myself. I like myself. I think that I'm worthy when I'm able to be a kind person. I may have to perhaps need to follow these values requires that I may have to endure some pain, because no pain and no gain comes without some pain. But when I'm able to suffer that pain, then I find myself worthy in my own, I could do that. There's somebody behaved like that, you know the story of this, the saints are always like that. Many stories are told. One story told about Saint Ekanath, who was a great saint in Maharashtra. This story also I've told you. Let me tell you another story. That also I've told you all the stories anyway. But so here, this Saint Ekanath every morning used to go to river Godavari to take a dip before he does his puja. It's what somehow even saintly people seem to have people who hate them. I don't know why. As the Swami says, you just create enemies by just being what you are. So apparently there was some people who may not have liked him. Somebody hated him. And so what do? You harass him. So one day this man who hated Ekanath, his house was on the street from which Ekanath used to pass after taking his dip in the river. So this man is standing in his balcony. As Ekanath passed by in the street, he had his mouth filled with water. And so he threw all that water, impure water. Now there's some definition of what is pure and impure. But this is considered to be impure, what comes from your mouth. It fell on this Saint Ekanath. He's polluted. He went back, had another dip, because now he cannot do his puja, etc. This man is waiting. He did it again. Quietly again, the saint goes back. Again and again. Nobody knows how many times it happened. Until this fellow who was trying to harass him, he got tired. He comes down, falls at his feet. I'm extremely sorry. And look at his response. No, you've done a great favor to me this morning. Had it not been for you, I would not have all these dips in this holy river. And so, you are my beneficiary. He must be saying it sincerely, not just in words. That is the ideal. If you keep that kind of an ideal, that is worthwhile, because you can achieve that. In the core, each one of us is like that. That's what we love ourselves to be. When are you happy? When do you have a self-worth? When you find yourself a kind, forgiving person. So, therefore, relationship with myself. To be kind to my own self. Not permissive, understand, but kind or compassionate. Permissive meaning that I permit all my follies. No, that's not the point. But just because I became angry doesn't mean I have to bash myself. Just because I was not all right sometime doesn't mean I have to punish myself. Okay, begin from there. A value for being a good person. Oh, that time I found myself acting in an unbecoming manner. All right. With a further resolve, I'll do better. Meaning that this habit of punishing oneself, criticizing oneself, hurting oneself, we have to notice that whether such a thing goes on in our mind or not. First of all, become aware of this. It's a habit which everybody has in one measure or the other. So, we should become awareful of this pattern of thought, and when we find that such a pattern is arising in the mind, just become aware and stop the mind. Come on, mind, don't do this. Don't hurt yourself. Be kind to yourself. You committed a fault, all right. Be forgiving to yourself. And do better next time. So thus, our value for what we want to be also is retained. The same, because every time we condemn ourselves, we are only draining our own energy, and that is how we become incapable of what we need to do. So not permit, that also is not right. Sometimes mothers do that for the children. No, my child is always good. Oh, but yeah, he's beaten us, this fellow. Nah, that's okay. That's also not right. Meaning that it's not that we permit our mind to do what it wants. I have my own values and, expectations, but same time I don't punish it also. So this kindness and compassion to one's own self, that gives me a certain state of mind, an objectivity of the mind from which I can do what is necessary in order to correct myself. So relation with myself is very important, because I first relate to myself, then I relate to the world. Who relates to the world? Whatever I am in my perception, that self relates to the world. And thus, in my perception, I am not a worthy person, that unworthy person relates to the world. That's not going to be a healthy relationship. So self-acceptance, accepting myself because I am creation of Ishvara. This body is created by Ishvara. It's beautiful, in Ishvara's opinion. My mind is created by Ishvara. It's beautiful in Ishvara's opinion. And what is challenge given to me is to, get rid of whatever impurities are there in the mind, and that task has been given to me. So when a new house is given to us, cleaning also we have to take, we have to do. Remove the cobwebs. Remove the cobwebs from the mind, that is my task. But mind itself is beautiful, as it is. That I am beautiful as I am. I am all right as I am. And my job is to do the best that I can. To contribute as much as I can. To be as useful as I can be. Well, that is the way of growing in our inner goodness. So that is the final thing that we have to share with you with reference to the relationship. Freedom in relationship. Or freedom from, not from, but then relationship becomes an opportunity to discover freedom or to practice freedom. And how long? Until it becomes spontaneous. Adveshta sarvabhutana maitraha karunaha. Automatically hatred doesn't come in my mind. Automatically only mitrata, friendship, karuna, compassion, that automatically happens. And it can happen for everybody, because this is not just a privilege of some person that he becomes wise. Every human being can. Because in true nature, every human being is the same. Kshetrajnam chabimam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. Bharata, I am the self of all the living beings. It doesn't matter what the nature, what the shape of the city is. Doesn't matter, what the appearance of name and form is. It is my pleasure that I have created this variety. Enjoy the variety. Enjoy yourself if you can. Nothing wrong. Why can I not enjoy? Swami says that you don't have to go out to watch play or drama. Enough is going on in your own mind. Provided we can create distance, we can identify with the emotions and then we get swept away with them. But if I can create distance, okay, this emotion is there in the mind, all right. Oh, the anger is there. Don't say I am angry, anger is there in the mind. Don't say I am greedy, the greed is in the mind. As if I can be objective with reference to my own mind, then I can deal with it. So self-acceptance means objectivity with reference to one's own self, which gives me the capacity to do what I need to do with myself. And as my relation with myself improves, my relation with the world will automatically improve, because I will come across to other people as a non-demanding person, accepting person, So more non-demanding I am, more accepting I am, more I make other people feel comfortable in my presence. And more enjoyable that relationship becomes. So life is given to us for enjoying. But to enjoy requires a lot of work. And this is the kind of work that we'll constantly do. Om. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.